Ciao!
Allora, siamo qua sul Chiemsee, Insel, questa bellissima manifestazione. Siamo con Horia Radulescu, un amico che ci ha sorpreso quest'anno partecipando con un bellissimo piccolo diorama. Ci vuoi dire qualcosa? Per gli amici io parlerò in italiano, Horia risponderà in inglese.
O in italiano.
O in italiano, come vuoi, o anche un mix.
Io mi fido di parlare un po' italiano e vediamo se non so parlare inglese.
Va benissimo.
Allora, io ho costruito molti plastici europei e adesso ho fatto qualcosa di americano e ho voluto fare qualcosa di speciale perché quando parlo di America tutti facciano qualcosa del Wild West, allora con case da legno, stazione in legno. Io ho voluto fare qualcosa di speciale, qualcosa della Eastern Coast americana, nell'epoca 1, diciamo 1888. E questa è una vita immaginaria, che non esiste, no? Ma può esistere. Allora, io ho fatto qualcosa che deve essere quasi realista, no? E in questo stato la mia stazione è costruita nel 1880, 48, 50, allora ha quasi 30 anni e è un po' costruita con it looks like a castle.
Okay, but
because in this time when they started with the railroads in the United States, people were afraid of railroads, so they wanted the stations to look as solid as possible. So that's why that's a very new motive on the East Coast, to have two towers and to look it very compact and very solid.
So you based this diorama that is a fantasy diorama, but the station, I mean, you used the pictures or drawings
of stations who existed at that time.
Okay.
So it's based on two prototypes. One is a Finchburg station in Boston, and the other one is the station in Salem, Massachusetts. And they were both built with like this. And of course, it wasn't very easy because you don't have anything commercial, or you have very few buildings you can use. So you have to build almost everything yourself.
And you did it in this diorama. Tell us something about the buildings and the particularities of the diorama.
I started using for the city buildings. I started using old kits from DPM, which are now by Walters. And of course they were changed. Of course I made the interiors for some of them. And the one building with the rosa facade in the back, it's a building for architect, as resin. And the house which is being demolished is made of bits and pieces from different
producers,
colors and of course the most common is the station itself. And I started using some industrial parts from Kivri and from Scala. And the windows, for instance, were made by my friend Stefan Teichnert, the laser parts. And of course I had to compose something with very different parts, and it had to look realistic, which was not so easy. But I think in the end it looks the way it should be.
Oh, it's spectacular. What do you use for the pavement? I mean,
these are laser parts.
Laser parts.
Also made by
printed by Stefan. Okay. Yes.
And of course, I have to handle them very carefully and paint them over. And of course, it's not very easy because for this big place in front of the station, it wasn't only one part. There were three of them. And I have to build it in such a way that you don't see any seams between them. So, what was very important for me was to tell so many stories as possible. So to make small scenes, like for instance you have here the kids who look at the marriage dresses. You also have inside the cafe people who are discussing and who are being seated. In the background, you have to see people who are greeting other people on a ship, which you cannot see. Then you have the small kid with a dog, which is being scared by the horses.
By the horses. And then passengers there, and with the
which is going into the postcoach.
Yes, the postcoach.
Here you have some prominence from the city, which is discussing who is to be put on the monument.
But all these, figures are from the 3D or
no,
they are adapted
most of them are from Preiser, and they were adapted, a little bit modified. And of course, it was very important for me to have names here who are important in my life. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, the city is called Milshaven because of one Millie, which is a girl I know. Mm-hmm. We also have a yellow car called Andrea because of an Andrea I know. You have here a commercial for the Besenhardt soup. Yeah. Our Besenhardt. You have here a milk wagon from the Steve Teichert Milk Works, and so on and so on. So everything has a connection to people, real people in my life. You also have a small saloon in the front called Net Saloon because of a Natalie I know.
Well, that's interesting and important, I think, even in the construction and the meaning of the diorama.
And of course, it was very important for me to try new techniques. One problem were, of course, the flags. Mm-hmm. Because most paper flags do not look realistic. Okay. So I developed a new technique. Mm-hmm. The flags are all decals, which are all glued on aluminum foil. Okay. So I take just normal aluminum foil from chocolate, for instance.
Yeah, okay.
And then I put the decals on both parts of them, and then I put, of course, microsol on them. Mm-hmm. And once it's solid, you can bend them any way you want.
Incredible. So
you can have flags in all directions. Mm-hmm. 1 second. Stefan, mach das jetzt langsam. So.
Rolling stock? You're using commercial rolling stocks or something prototypical?
Yes, but I modified all of them in order to have the right type of vehicles, which were used in this period. Mm-hmm. And of course, they were renumbered, and of course, they have new inscriptions for the Boston Main Railroad, which is a main railroad who goes through here. This is a project I will make over, let's say, at least 10 years. So that's the very first step of it. In the next year, we're going to have a scene here, which is going to be the railroad outside the city, on the outskirts of the city, along the sea, of course.
Yeah.
In the third year, we have the sea on the other side. And in the fourth year, we will change in the middle. It's not going to be 1888 anymore, but it's going to be 1970. And
changing the period.
Yeah, and some people will be deceived because all this romantic stuff will be gone. And there are two buildings, I'm not going to tell which will stay until today. Two of the buildings here will be maintained. And of course, all the rest will change. And I'm going to make 3 different dioramas. Mm-hmm. One is this year, the second one will be like maybe 1970 or 75 or maybe 1980. And the third one will be like 2028, 2026, 2027. So you will always have 2 buildings which will stay, which of course will be in different states. And all the rest is going to be a surprise. You're going to see how Milshaven is going to look in 100 years or 150 years.
Beautiful idea and beautiful diorama.
Thank you very much. Grazie.
Thank you. Grazie a te.
Ci vediamo.